Welcome to the National Indian Gaming Association's Midyear Conference 2021, Why You Should Attend. My name is Ashley Cope and I am the marketing manager for the Indian Gaming Trade Show and Convention. I just wanted to share a few housekeeping tips before we get started. Everyone is muted by default except for our speakers. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question or chat box and they'll be brought up at the end. This session will also be recorded and will be available on our website. Now, without further ado, I'd like to introduce Victor Rocha, Conference Chairman of the National Indian Gaming Association.
Thank you, Ashley. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Victor Rocha. My co-host Jason Giles isn't here this moment, but welcome. Good afternoon. Today's webcast is a pretty important one. As we go forward, it's been a pretty amazing year. The fact that we had our conference in July was pretty much a miracle, and we just finished G2E, which was a good show. And but for us at the National Indian Gaming Association, business for us isn't one time a year. It isn't something that we get together and have parties and stuff like this. Something that goes on year round. And as a Native American, it's very important that we keep on top of these issues. And because of the pandemic, during the last year, it's been really hard to do business. So, this webcast, we're going to be talking about the National Gaming Association's annual Midyear Conference, which is being held at the Pechanga Indian Reservation at the casino there, which is my tribe, my casino, my people. So for me, this is like a really big honor to bring the show back to my land. It's just wonderful. So not only because it's great to have everybody there and everybody at the to show them how beautiful our property is, but I don't have to leave my own bed, which is wonderful. Tonight I get to stay home, so that's really why I'm excited about this show. But I am wandering as I want to do. But we have Chairman Stevens is coming in. He's going to be here to talk more about the conference. But we also have our dear friends Brian Sullivan and Ed Gallo. Brian is the VP of Gaming US for Clarion Gaming Group. Brian, welcome, my friend, back as usual. And also another dear friend and someone who I work with very closely almost every day, Ed Gallo, Clarion Events Director of Sales and Attendee Programs. Ed, welcome. How you doing, man?
Doing great. Very excited about this event, and not only because you can get out, you can sleep a little bit later, but the support we get from the associate members and the tribes has been outstanding so far to date. So everyone's inquiring about it and what's happening. And so I'm glad we're having this call today.
Well, you know what, and before the chairman gets here, and Brian, Brian, you've been in the conference, both you guys have been in the industry a long time. I mean, I heard when you guys started, it was all steam powered. So this is, I'm sure this new revolution kind of, eye-opening to you, so I don't make any fast movements when I'm talking with them because, they're still a little acclimated to it. But guys, why another conference? Do we need another conference? I have to tell you, I've been getting to my email. I got to think of my email, and I don't want to, slam anybody's show and stuff like that. I think everybody deserves to get a shot at the tribal, at sports betting industry as long as you're Native American. I'm all for it. But there is a lot of shows out there. It's just, and they're all virtual now. Everyone figures, you don't have to get them. I believe there's other ones coming on, but what is special about this show as opposed to all the other shows? And don't we have conference fatigue already?
I don't think so, Victor. Events are coming back. I actually think there's a deep thirst for the knowledge that's being presented. The pandemic took everybody out for 8 months to almost 2 years, and there's actually a thirst for folks to learn what's going on. This particular one, I looked over your agenda many times here, and the focus on sports betting, there's nothing more timely in the gaming arena than there. So to have this conference and have a good portion of it speaking specifically about sports betting is key. And and also showcasing it at your tribe's facility, Pechanga, it's great because you actually get to see tribal arena and see it in practice. So it's not often that you can do that and things. So this conference offers something that no other conference does.
split myself in half because as the conference chairman and as the host of this webcast, it's very important for me to ask questions, and I always put myself in the place of the attendee, as someone who's been to 1,000 conferences at this point, not just producing them, but as an attendee and stuff. You see all these shows out there, but for me as a conference chairman, I've always felt it's very important to create proprietary content for the show. So if you're going to come to this show, this is California sports betting, and that's what we're talking about. This is not the industry. This is not Arizona. This is not Florida. This is not New Jersey. This is not Nevada. This is California. This is going to be the biggest market in the world, and this is the only market that matters right now. So the rest of them, please, California is the only thing this is where the opportunity is. If you're not here and if you're not paying attention, we're not broadcasting that for this very same reason, because we want it to be proprietary. And, Native Americans, we're very closed, you know what I mean? And especially my tribe, it's very, you don't even have to tell us not to say anything. We just don't talk. We are we make the perfect prisoners of war. We are not saying anything, and when you come to these shows, I guarantee you there will be things said in those rooms you will not hear anywhere else. That's because our speakers you do not hear anywhere else. You don't see them online. You know what I mean? You don't see these tribal leaders attending these things because they don't do that. That's not who they are. They don't have a reason to broadcast their thoughts everywhere. Being a Native American means talking to the people who are in front of you. Now, we're still learning, and we understand the value of reaching out and the value of media, stuff like that. But it really is about our nature of the way we communicate and the way we communicate to each other. So for the NIGA Midyear, and I apologize to go on the rant, but this is something I'm very passionate about, which is creating proprietary information for the National Gaming Association, for the Native Americans, and for the people who want to do business in this industry. These are the kind of opportunities that we are creating. So I apologize if I went on a rant. And here we go. Now here comes the male model segment of our show. I think Jason's going to be showing off Tom Ford's latest. They get a little action shot. He's moving things around. Oh, it's Chairman. It's Chairman.
It's still connected.
Now he has Jason Giles' thing. Hey, Chairman. You're on mute. There you are. Welcome.
Hey guys, trying to see if
you came in mid rant. You came in mid rant. I was just telling people.
Sorry, go keep ranting. I'm just trying to join in.
I was just telling people that why the National Gaming Association NIGA Midyear is important. And I was explaining that the content that we create for the National Gaming Association is for the National Gaming Association and its members. We really it's not who we are to just broadcast everything. We're Native Americans. We play things close to the vest, and that's why NIGA Midyear is, as I said, it's a condensed show, but it's still very important. It's a small show. You actually get a lot more FaceTime with probably more movers and shakers, or people who move the needle. You know what I mean? Not people who talk about the needle, but people who move it. And Chairman Stevens, you're one of those people. You know what I mean? So, Chairman Stevens, why do you think NIGA Midyear? No, you know what? Actually, no. Let's take that in. And so the other thing about NIGA Midyear, what people know, is that this is a place where we do business. So Chairman Stevens, tell us a little about this. I mean, how during the pandemic we weren't able to do business. Am I correct?
Yeah, well, we did business. We did a lot of business, but it was like this. And I'm used to it. I think it's an amazing tool. But I just kind of like I said to myself, enough. I've got to go to my office in DC and get my feet on the ground and get grounded. And so we've been here. We've had a nice meeting with our lawyer lobbyist team here in DC. I met with all the staff here in DC. We're just trying to get our feet on the ground and feel that strength, and that's what I really need to do. I'm honored to be able the capacity I am, but I'm not anybody if I don't have this team around me, and I am a team player. I just get I get credit for a lot of stuff, and I get to take the bows for a lot of hard work on behalf of the Lawyer Lobs team and the staff here in DC, and most importantly, the work of the tribal leadership. But when it's all done, I'm a part of this team, and that's kind of what we're doing. We're just kind of getting grounded, and we're in touch. This whole Zoom and webinar and all these things we do, we're getting pretty good at it. But I needed to be here with my team, and so I'm excited about that, and just looking forward to the midyear coming up.
Well, speaking of being there with the team, we noticed your background is different in the back, so I guess that assumes that you're in Washington D.C. now.
Yeah. That's I bought the picture in the back. It's a very young, beautiful, amazing artist wrote this as a tribute to the missing and murdered Indigenous women. And then that other picture in the back there is President Obama's inauguration picture with my amazing wife, Cheryl. And and I got all kinds of memorabilia all around this office. I got, Stan Crooks is here, and one of my favorite is Senator Inouye taking a picture with my daughter when she was in college, and so we got President Obama with Orville Looking Horse. I got myself with the George Bush Sr. Just all kinds of Wilma Mankiller. Just good energy here in Washington D.C. And that's what I came here for. Just to let the staff know that we support them, and I've got a mask here and a mask there, and they say that I'll be able to get the booster pretty soon. I'm not quite old enough to get the booster, but I'm good. If I got to lie my age or do whatever I got to do, I got to get a booster shot, because I'm a big proponent of the vaccine. I'm a big proponent of the mask and safety and looking out for our community and stuff. So with that, Victor, we're strongly advocating, even though we're not required, but we're strongly advocating for a mask and for folks to be vaccinated when they come to the Midyear Conference.
But that's a really good point. I think people are starting to get more comfortable going out in crowds. I think when we did our show in July, I think a lot of people were really apprehensive about it. They didn't know how it was going to work, and I think since then, I think people are feeling more comfortable wearing masks. But Brian, Chairman brings up a really good point. That we're still in the middle of a pandemic. You see some of the numbers. One of the really nice things about this is that the show is in California, and if you look at the numbers in California, it's stuff there. They seem to be a lot better than most of the country. But you, as someone in the industry, what are you hearing with the industry? Is it still the norm?
Victor, it's interesting. Things with the pandemic it looked like it was winding down a little bit when we were getting to the trade show in Las Vegas. And just as we got there, Delta it was kind of starting to spout back up. So we got in just before that, and now it's on a downtrend again. So I'm not saying that we kind of just throw caution to the wind here and not do anything, but it is something that we do need to keep an eye on. It's an important health arena that we have to keep an eye on. I did speak with the folks at Pechanga, and we can go either. The one thing is that we are kind of a smaller event this time, as you mentioned, so we don't hit the regulations of 1,000 or the large scale ones. So, but it is something that we constantly have to keep an eye on, and we really don't know how long this will go. So, if we're not watching it, we're going to be in trouble.
Ed, so this is a smaller show. I mean, traditionally, we just got off of two big shows, G2E and our show in NIGA. So this is just a different show. I've always looked at this as something just a lot more distilled down to its essence. I mean, for a show, for the content, we're there to take care of tribal business, to care for the National Gaming Association business and stuff. So, what are we doing if someone wants to come to the show, if somebody wants to be there? I just made this rant and talking about how this is the place for California sports betting. What do people do if they want to?
The great thing is
part of this.
Our Midyear website, our Midyear and National Gaming Association website is updated. You could register right now. You can contact me directly for a table or a sponsorship. I will say we've had such a huge response in the last few weeks. We limit it to 25 tables. I have 29 sold, and we're trying to get a few more added. Brian's working with the building to see if we can do a little different of a layout, but sponsorships are still available. And as I tell everybody, this is such an important event where the attendee is so high level. So like you said, you don't get that much access to tribal leaders. They come to this event. And it's very good for networking, from our welcome reception into our luncheon awards celebrations. So sponsor something at the event, low ticket items, you please call me and we'll customize something for you. Heavy on branding and heavy on exposure to get you in front of these right people that you want to see and meet with.
Yeah, well, you know what? So I don't know if people have been to, I don't have my agenda up yet. Hold on one second. Let me pull my agenda up. I apologize. If people have been to the website and looked at it, but I think already we have one of the sessions I put together. We're going to be talking to FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM to be talking. I want to hear more about their initiative. We'll be hearing from the tribes about their initiative, and then we'll be talking obviously about the landscape. And I can give you guys a little peek, maybe a little, but there's rumors that there's going to be a fourth bill out there, and what I've heard it from just incredible, reliable sources. So this isn't fringe type of stuff. And what does that mean? Who is it? What does that mean for? I mean, that's kind of insane. It's all still has to play out. I think at this point, it's all just projection and stuff like that. So it all still has to play out. But I do know that what happens in California is going to affect the industry. It's going to change everything, and especially with the tribes and gaming and with the future, this is where the rubber meets the road here. Chairman Stevens, again, welcome. We apologize for sending you the late link. So what kind of business does NIGA take care of when we're there? So for us, we did take care of a lot of stuff too, but there's just nothing that really replaces the person-to-person contact 6 feet apart with the mask,
Yeah. I think we perfected that, how we can still stay social distance and still get our work done and still interact,
We talking about
As far
smoke
as-
signals? Are we talking about smoke signals again?
No. As far as the connection thing, it's got, Victor, I don't blame you. It's got to be Brian or Ed, because the last time I had trouble getting on, it was with us, the same crew right here. So I've narrowed it down to two suspects.
Ed, you're never getting out
likely
of this
me.
one, man. You're
So,
never digging me out of this hole.
Anyway, I'm teasing. The guy, they've been very, very helpful to me and to our organization here in getting this done. So they're very pivotal. You're important too, Victor. But I think that the key here is whether it's it's a small setting and whether folks want to travel, that's up to them. We understand the climate, but we also understand that we get our vaccine and wear our masks and stay social distance, that we can do this. We proved that in Las Vegas because we did well in Las Vegas. We proved that at G2E. We did well at G2E recently. So I think that, again, we can't be reckless and we can't lose focus of where we're going, because not only are we in a better place, but we still got a ways to go here. And we got to get folks to understand the necessity of the mask and the vaccine. And for I guess only the old guys can get their booster, but I'm working on it. I'm trying to get an exemption, but so far my doctor hasn't gone for it. But I think that at the mid-year, I think it's important for one of the main focuses is our message. And we met with our good friends working in the Biden's administration at the White House. Both Libby and Pawi sat down with coffee for us. So we there's a little bit of a overlap in that. In that they have the White House meeting, but it's on a Zoom. So tribal leaders are on our main agenda is going to take place in the morning of our mid-year. So tribal leaders will be in their rooms on their computers I think most of our folks are going to be in our sessions because folks are really excited about the sessions we have to offer. But in the afternoon, we also have our membership agenda is mostly in the afternoon. So we're excited about what our sessions bring to Indian country. We're excited about the message. I think the message from us, Victor, is about the infrastructure bill and as the president would say, build back America. And so what we've done, I've tried to follow the lead of this administration, not as directly, but as philosophically. I've worked hard on masks. I've worked hard on vaccines. I've worked hard on getting the message across to Indian country. This infrastructure bill plays a giant role in helping build back Indian country. Now, I'll be the first to boast about the fact that Indian country and Indian gaming specifically has come back better than we could have expected, and where numbers are good. That's from diligence. That's because of the mask. That's because of the have been able to wash your hands at every step. That's because of our gaming commissioners, our regulators, our gaming managers, and those people who do all the grunt work. Every machine, when you get up there, wiping it down. So that's where we're doing good. We're doing good because we make safety our priority. However, in this kind of pandemic situation, there's a whole bunch of people that had to go into early retirement, that still can't find work, that were working for their tribe or their gaming area for sometimes 10, 20 years. Some people I know that worked in their tribe 30 years are not getting back to work. So while we're excited about the progress of Indian gaming and rebuilding, we've still got our major concerns because not everybody has the traffic count, not everybody has the access, and there's still people out there are struggling because of the pandemic. So that's where our communities need the continued support of the government. We continue to need our prayers and support tribal leaders because those folks have a tremendous amount of responsibility on their shoulders. And again, I don't know if our regulators even leave the shop. Hopefully they'll leave the shop and come to our show. Bottom line, Pechanga is a beautiful place about this time of the year. And I know firsthand, I watched them build it. I listened to them build it. I was there when they opened it. And I've been there many times over the years. It's a beautiful place in Indian country. And, we're put our minds together. A lot having to do with our subject of sports betting. That's going to be a highlighted subject. The NIGC will be out for a presentation. All kinds of different things that we've been working on. This is a chance to get our voices out there. And again, our training sessions are amazing. We're second to none. And if you want to know about gaming, you want to know business, economic development, our show does that. Again, a small show, but small shows are like small colleges or small learning environments. The numbers are with your not just with your teachers, not with your trainer, not just with your trainers, but the interaction between the gaming representatives that are in these sessions. And I get a chance to visit them right from day one, 20 years ago. One of the most exciting things I remember is going to the sessions or going and meeting them as they were leaving and knowing that these people are the professionals. We are the experts of the industry. We've been doing this for 30 plus years. We know what we're doing, and if we don't, but the leadership will be there on Tuesday afternoon, and we'll put our minds together and have a real strong message coming out of that. Monday is our board meeting, and there'll be a little bit of golf for those who have time to get out there. But on Monday night we'll have some recognitions. It's really, really a powerful session, and because we have a short window, and it's not a giant show, but we have a giant message to get out there in Indian country. That means to continue to communicate, continue to interact. I'm excited, even though it'll be a social distance, I'm excited to be meeting with folks, but nonetheless, we have to get our message across. We have to let Washington, D.C., state governments, everybody around us know the responsibility we have as it relates to Indian gaming and economic development and building this country back. I'm sorry, I borrowed that from the president. I don't know if anybody got that, but
wow.
That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing, and we're doing it because not just because of the president. We're doing this because of the presidents, the governors, the chiefs, whatever they call our elected leaders in our tribal governments. That's what we're doing it for. And we've been doing it for a long time. But right now, more than ever, we need to band together and build back America. 600,000 jobs before the pandemic in Indian gaming, direct and indirect. 11th highest employer in the United States of America with Walmart, Amazon, and all these folks. We're right up there before the pandemic. We need to get back there. And this is a giant step in that direction.
Well, Chairman, thank you very much. But, you touched on something which is probably the most important thing about the core, what NIGA really means, which is, tribal gaming supports tribal sovereignty. Tribal gaming isn't just this thing that exists in a vacuum. The role of tribal gaming is to provide revenue for tribal governments to provide services for their people. So this isn't a normal form of capitalism. This is something that supports people who at one point had nothing, that land and everything. So without going too far deep into that stuff. So I just want people to know that, that's what makes this show unique. Now, you mentioned training. Brian, what do we know what kind of training and stuff are we doing here?
Yes.
Yeah, commissioner training. I saw. I don't have my notes, and I apologize. But we also have commissioner training, right?
Commissioner training. The agenda will start with golf, and then Chairman mentioned the board meeting, and then sessions, the regular sessions, including commissioner training, and then the membership meeting and the receptions too. There's going to be a great reception up in Eagle's Nest, which is a great part of the property, and so everything is on the website right now. You can register, and it talks about the golf, all the sessions, how to register, and how to make hotel reservations. So everything is a package there. So it's an all-encompassing, and I know we've used the words small. It's a smaller event, which is true. It is. But that's better networking. You have more time to meet with people and actually talk and exchange. So it's a really good avenue for that. And again, I mentioned it earlier. It's not available anywhere else in the country.
Yeah, and one of the things that I did was make sure that I have a lot of the big players for sports betting, because I want the tribes to show up, because I want after us they got CNIGA in January, and then we're going to be in London. At ICE, National Gaming Association is going to be in London, bringing our message over there. But I think, for us, I think it's important that the tribes also attend, because we will have a lot of the players there, and they will be talking about their products. And, this thing is in play. This is not a test run. This is not a drill. This is the real thing. So if you're not part of California, if you're not going to be, you're going to have to tell your investors that, you're not going to make those quarterly numbers. Sorry, I didn't mean to threaten anyone. But it's true. It's California is the big enchilada when it comes to sports betting. So what I wanted to make sure is that we had a lot of the players there, that we can talk about it. We can talk about the bills. We can talk about where the industry is going, so that you, as a business person, as an entrepreneur, you can position yourself to take advantages of these opportunities, and the things that are going to be said in these rooms will not be said outside them. That's why we're not streaming. Brian, bro, one of the interesting things that and Chairman, I think you can join on this. We did a session at G2E, and somebody brought in a camera, and that kind of freaked everybody out. And it wasn't just a camera; it was being videotaped, and I ended up talking to the panelists after the session, and they were just like, there are things that they're not going to say on the camera that they can say in a room of people, because you just don't want that. Sometimes you just don't want it to go past that room, and I know that these leaders started, qualifying their answers and stuff like that, because they just, you don't want to get in trouble in front of the world. It's enough to do it in the room. But Chairman, don't you think so also?
Yeah, that's what I said before. We are the experts of the industry, and we have done this. So not only have we combined education, but a lot of experience over the last 30 plus years. So we know the industry. And if those folks on the outside, or those folks even outside our industry, it's not abnormal for them to come and take in our show, but they register. and they hang out with us, and they're welcome to all that information. But it's just a little bit. It's not a giant thing. It's not a major thing. But hey, save your cell phone for catching a criminal, or or documenting something, or getting you're posted or something. But we're there. We're live, and we're living our experience. And the very least you can do is support the association if you want to take it in. And again, it's not the cell phone's responsibility. It's the leadership's responsibility, the trainees' responsibility. The tribe is paying them to go there, and they learn and they take it back to their colleagues. That's why we are the experts in the industry. That's what we've done over the last 30 plus years, and it's not going to do it on a cell phone or a video. And again, those folks they could come and see the best training in the whole world at the National Indian Gaming Association. I'm a little biased, who knows?
No,
But
you're right though. I mean, that's part of what we do is to educate. That's what makes us so unique, is that we are elevating, we are helping people create career paths and helping people move through the industry. It just isn't about tribal gaming or the next sales. It's really about bringing evidence and raising everybody's boats. That's what NIGA is about, and that's what the commissioner training is about. That's what we're doing. We have a session, we're bringing in the Pechangans to talk about how they did their sports betting deal in Indiana, and retail, and getting into mobile, and what that means in Michigan for them. So, we bring in some real world experience in tribes who are dealing with this. We have GLI coming in to talk about the regulatory stuff and the stuff that they're starting to see and the issues that they're starting. So anything that we can help the tribes to create a smooth path to success, that's what we're trying to do. And that's why it was very important for me as the conference chairman, is to create content, not just telling people what we're going to do in sports betting, but also to the tribes is like, look at, here's what's working, here's what's not working. Don't waste your time for some of this stuff. And here is tribes that are doing this and what they're doing, especially with Pechanga and what they're doing, this technology and this working group that they put together. And these are problems that tribes are going to be finding at sooner or later. So we might as well, and what NIGA is best for is sharing information and sharing the things that we have all experienced together, So, again, Ed, I'm sorry to leave you out. How you doing, brother? So
It's all good. It's all good. I'm just.
do you
taking it
play
all in.
golf? So we have a golf tournament that starts on Monday, right? And now, as everybody knows, I don't. Well, maybe you don't know. I don't golf. I don't play sports. I'm boring. I listen to music and gaming, and that's it. I'm a really boring person. But I know in my tribe, we have these incredible golf courses. I know this because I voted against them every single time they came up to vote, and yet they still passed. They still passed. I voted against them every single time, and they still passed. So, but people love them. People love to play golf, and Pechanga is a very good course. It's a challenging course, and people really seem to like that if you're a really fan of the sport. And, there's no better way to network than golfing, right, Ed?
Yeah, correct. And if anyone's still looking to get a foursome, please shoot me a note at edward.gallo@clarionevents.com. I could send you the paperwork for you to fill out your foursomes. If you want to sponsor a hole or any part of the golf, let us know. Any giveaways at the golf, we welcome it all the support we can get. We appreciate.
Yeah, I think, like I said, to me, this was so important, the fact that we were coming back to California at this time. And what people don't know is that strategically thinking, like a year and a half ago, when we were talking about this, I knew this initiative was going to make the ballot. Even before it happened, I knew, because I know that's what I do. And so I begged the people, and I was like, let's bring it back to California. If the tribes get on the ballot, we'll be able to talk about this right before the election cycle, which would have been in November and stuff. But, they moved the election. The tribes initiative didn't get on the ballot. It's going to be next year instead of this year. So, but we're still in California, and it's still really important, and California's in place. So although we're talking about California, and I have put a heavy emphasis on it, obviously the rest of the industry is very important, especially what's going down in Florida, what's going down in New York, all these really important markets. And, but like I said, California is the one where that's where everyone's just salivating to get into. And as you may or may not know, gaming, the exclusivity is owned by the tribes in California, or it was bestowed upon the tribes in California. And they, you have to get through them. You have to listen to them. They're part of this. And so those of you who know about California, it's going to be fascinating. So I am still waiting to see how this plays out. I mean, the thought that there's going to be possibility of 4 initiatives on the ballot, that is insanity. What are they? Who is it behind them? That's what we'll be talking about, So, Chairman, what do you think about that? 4 initiatives possibly on the ballot, hypothetically, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hypothetically.
Well, again, the main thing for me is get people to understand what's on the ballot and understand how that impacts Indian country. That's the bottom line for us, and that's what we're going to be doing at the mid-year. It's so important for folks to get updated, to understand firsthand from the leaders who are in those regions, not just California, all over the country. Obviously, California is interesting, and it seems like we're right in the backyard. But it's a big issue. Sports betting, and it resonates throughout the whole country, and we're excited about it. But at the same time, we want to make sure the Indian country comes out of this thing for the betterment of their future. And again, I don't even understand it sometimes, but I've been to a lot of different places. And where it's up and running and operating, people are excited. These people are kind of they love this stuff. I just like to walk into the casino in Indian country with my wife and spend my limit and then go feed my face and eat a whole bunch of food. That's kind of my thing. But I'm going to learn how to bet on sports. I'm pretty good at analyzing sports, Yeah, but when you're a Green Bay Packer fan, it's pretty easy to bet on sports,
We had your son, the vice chairman of your tribe, Brandon Stevens, Vice Chairman Stevens here a couple weeks ago, and he was phenomenal. It was such a great webcast. It's one of those when I'm done, I start calling people. It's like, that was really good. I know when it feels good when I'm done. And that was one of them. It was fascinating. It was Wisconsin. The fact there was a lot said there that I didn't know about. I know a lot of people didn't know about it. So, Wisconsin's in play. You guys have really opened the door for Wisconsin, and I think everyone's really excited about that. But as a Green Bay fan, I think you should be even more excited than most.
Thank you. When the vice chairman comes to the house, I'm pretty sure he comes there just to eat and watch the football game, because I can't get him to talk a lot of shop. I got more out of him on your program than I do sitting there watching the football game with him. But it's a good thing. Now, just for the record, we're going over to Arizona this week, but we're only bringing our practice squad. We got a couple of issues over there.
Wow. Well, guys, we've done about 40 minutes. It is mid-year. I don't think we should beat up everybody about this. I do have one more issue to talk about, and that is, Brian, we're going to be in London, right?
We are. London and ICE is coming up, and actually, I'm a bit surprised because they're kind of doing well as well. Everything looking forward to ICE in London is really doing well. Programs, they have new programs. The manufacturers are excited, so it's great that's coming up, and they're really looking forward to it. And Victor, I know you've been speaking with the folks there, and lining up folks to come and really represent Indian country, on a global level.
Right. Well, you know what? And some people would say, what are a bunch of Native Americans doing in the UK? And well, there's a very good reason over there. First of all, the ICE is the ultimate gaming show in the world, without a doubt. It is where you can go and see what's happening globally, where you get your blinders off and you're not limited by the American Victorian attitude towards gambling. It's really, there it is, there's the industry, there's the world. And I think, what's important for Native Americans to go to the UK and see the show and see what the future of gaming holds. And I have to tell you, as someone who's been doing it for like 11 or 12 years, at one point, I think I was me and the chairman of the Kanawakis were like the only Native Americans that were there. And we're the only people with ponytails. And it's, I've seen the future. I've seen ahead. This is where you go to see the future of gaming and where it's happening. And the fact that, you know, now the tribes are integrated with ICE, we do have our content. We have a space where we can, you know, we're there talking to the UK people, talking, excuse me, to globally about the opportunities in Indian country, but then we're also talking to bringing the tribes over to show them the global opportunities out there. And since I've started, I've already seen an impact and stuff like that. You're seeing tribes reaching out. You have tribes in Greece now. You have tribes in North Korea. Obviously, there's going to be some UK with been talked for a while. The Hard Rock putting something in London, and so it's really important that you take the blinders off and see what the global industry has to offer the American industry. So that's why it's an important show. I've been going there, I think 11 or 12 years. Obviously, I missed because of the pandemic, but that was the last show we went to before the pandemic, and it was amazing. You know, so very important show. We'll be there. We'll be talking about California. We'll be talking about the rest of the market as from a tribal perspective. And that's usually very fresh. A lot of those people don't know who we are. They don't, all they know is what they saw on television. So when they see us and they meet us and they see that we are successful business people and entrepreneurs and that our tribal gaming is this incredible opportunity, they listen, you know. And so it's very important that we're there and that our message is being shared across globally. So is there anything I need to add to that, Brian?
Brian, if I could jump in front of you, I apologize.
Yeah, go ahead, just Chairman.
I think you meant South Korea on the.
Yeah, you're right. I did. You're right. You're right.
There's a little bit of a difference, but north and south.
Yeah. Right.
But you know, I think it's, you know, it's one of the things is it's good to tell people about Indian gaming. It's good to see Indian gaming reach out across the world, but just in general, rather than have publications and writers and people that just kind of analyze who we are. It's good for us to tell the world who Indian country is, where we come from, and what we do in our communities. And I think that interaction is probably the most valuable, letting them know that as sovereign governments, we've always been sovereign governments, and we retain that status even with the United States of America. But we also are open and willing to interact with other governments and businesses throughout the world. I think that's a great message for Indian country.
And you know, Chairman, I always tell people, you know, we're changing the narrative, you know, of what a Native American is and what they look like, and I feel probably more important than that is that we're showing Native Americans that, you know, when you're on a global stage, you rank. You know what I mean? You're up there with the best of the best, and that's something I don't think you really can understand until you're stepping back from the American shores and looking back and seeing where we are, and then taking it from globally, you know, kind of like when Armstrong looked at the world, you know, from the moon, you kind of get a real perspective, you know. So I think when we're in Europe and we look at tribal gaming, it's very important that, you know, we share this message of tribal gaming and what we've done, and people are listening. They want to know about us. They want to know how successful, and more importantly, they want to do business with us. And so that's why it's important. I hate to push two shows, but that's what we do. You know, and so we're going to be in London. We're excited to be there. And if we're there, you know, email us. I have a couple meetings set up. We like to meet companies. Not every company. We're kind of selective. You know what I mean? We don't have a lot of time, and our time is very valuable. But, you know, that's what we're there for. So, Chairman, do you have anything to wrap up?
Oh, you know, I think I've been wrapping up the whole time. So, you know, I don't want to take any more time other than to say that how excited we are to coming together and get our issues out there. We're here in the nation's capital right now. It is still a limited amount of what we can do, but we feel with the help of our lawyer lobbyists, our staff here, our sister organizations throughout the city, and most importantly, the voice of the tribal leadership throughout Indian country, that we're doing everything we can to help build back Indian country, and Indian country will always be a major part of building back America.
Ed, have you got anything to share before we go to our intrepid viewers?
No, I'm just looking forward to seeing everybody. Like Chairman said, it's going to be shaping up to be a great event. Like I said, tables are already sold out. We're trying to get some more, but again, we have plenty of sponsorship opportunities. You don't want to miss out on this to get in front of all these great tribal leaders. I mean, everyone keeps saying, Vegas was Vegas. This is California, and it's an intimate setting that's heavy on networking, and our folks like to do that. So get in front of them. You got to be there.
You know, as Chairman says, you can't talk about tribal gaming without Indian gaming. Go ahead, Chairman.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just want, it sets the table for Anaheim, and we're gonna, we're planning a great show in Anaheim, and I don't want to jump over London because that's exciting too. But I really am. What we're doing in Pechanga really sets the table for Anaheim, sets the table for the new year, and most importantly, sets the table for continued healing and building back Indian country.
Brian, Anaheim, tell us about it, buddy.
Brian's sound has gone out on him, so he can't hear. Yeah.
Can you mime? Are you trapped in a box? Can you be trapped in a box type of thing? If he starts walking against the wind, I'm canceling him, okay? I'm deleting him. So I'm not into that mime stuff. A mime is a terrible thing to waste. We all know that. So listen, you guys, thank you so much. And like what Brian says, and Ed, you can speak for him. We have the annual show coming in March. Sorry, I don't have it written down.
Yeah, no, we're in April next year. It's actually funny. We were July 19th to the 22nd. We're April 19th to the 22nd, 2022. We have plenty of great space left. So please, if you do not have space, call me. We'll get you on the plan. Okay. We're going to have another great event. So please get on there.
Do we have layaway? Do we have layaway?
We do have payment plans if that's what you'd like to do. Okay. But as everyone knows,
It's a native thing, man. It's a native thing.
I'm always willing to
That's how
help
we grew
everybody out with that stuff, but we're looking good. We're shaping up. Like again, this is a little taste for what we got for 2022,
All right, great. Well, listen, on behalf of Mr. Sullivan over there, thank you, Brian. It was great having you. Ed, it was great, Chairman. It was great having you, everyone.
In California.
Yeah, we'll see you in California real soon. About 3 weeks, a little less than 3 weeks. So I'll see you guys again next week. Hey, thanks a lot. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you.